The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Liam Bartlett's in the house, everybody, and there's a big show on Spotlight, big episode on Sunday night. Have a listen to this.
We are at the epicentre of the world's green electric vehicle industry. But as you can see, there is nothing green about this.
This Sunday, a world-exclusive investigation that will change your view of electric vehicles.
Dun, dun, dun.
Thanks for
Two
playing
of the great
promo.
voices.
Thanks for playing the promo.
No worries,
that's
twice
fantastic. Roscoe, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good. Yeah, good to have you in
Good
here.
to see you too. Good to see you.
That's exciting. Sean was saying you did some sneaking around.
I did lots of sneaking around. Not to here. I'm not. Are we talking about the show?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
talking about the
No,
show.
no,
Well, I
We
snuck
don't know
in.
how you got
I
it.
mean,
He's very publicly here.
I snuck in here. I mean, I tell you what,
You
the
pretended
price,
to be a netballer.
the price you pay to be on this program now. I mean, now that you guys are going through the roof, did you say? I mean, you wouldn't have. Stop it. You wouldn't have because you wouldn't have made a big thing about it because you're not like that, Nat. But people knew. If people knew those figures, the latest ratings. I mean, that's just unbelievable. When you look at this, let me go on. You stay out of it.
Righto.
When you look at the table, there's a little asterisk, because it's never 100%. They don't add up. Statistical analysis. It doesn't go all the way, does it? There's, errors and omissions and sort of room for, bits and pieces. But you're on, let's call it 20%. I mean, 1 in every 5 people in the metropolis of Perth are listening to this show. That's unbelievable. And there's a little asterisk, and down the bottom in fine print it says, very, very greedy. It's incredible. So, I mean, just getting through that door now. I mean, back in the old days, you used to ring me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we would come around to your house and pick you up.
I'd say,
Put
you
a
used
bag
to
over
send,
your head and-
you
Come on,
used
Liam.
to send an Uber. Only the comfort, not the business. But nowadays, I'm downstairs
Yeah,
with the
begging.
sandwich board.
Yeah.
And the sort of, okay, the Coles trolley, I'll take it back one day.
Yeah.
But
It's useful.
finally, Amy, lovely producer, takes pity. Every few months, and I get to come in. But gee, I have to go to Lincoln, Indonesia, to do this story to get on the program.
So
That's how hard it is, folks.
How does somebody like you, what are you, 6'5"? How tall are you?
In the old language, 193.
193.
how do
Stock
you
standard
sneak?
midfielder.
How do you sneak around in Indonesia?
Look, it's difficult. I must admit. You have to eat lots of very bad nasi goreng.
Yeah, sure.
But we had to go. Look, I'll admit this. Because it's you can't get where we went. You can't get official government permission.
Right.
It's just not possible because the Indonesian government won't give you if you apply for. I'm going to mark myself for life here. But if you apply for a journalism visa,
Yes.
to work properly and
Yes.
collect the information in an official capacity, you will not only get knocked back because they don't want
They
you
don't
there.
want journalists poking their noses around.
No, they don't want you anywhere near there. They don't want any pictures taken.
So you
of
went
this
over
place.
there and poked your noses around.
Well, and the Chinese don't want you there either because the Chinese run all the security.
Right.
There's like heavily armed security guards there. So because and then there's one road in and one road out of these joints. So it's very hard. So you've got to go in as a tourist. So if you get caught,
Yes.
you're going to get deported.
So-
And there's going to be a little international incident. But that's
So
okay.
you
That's-
just wander
yeah.
around going, has anybody seen Finn's Beach Club?
That is on point. That is on point.
No, what you do? Well,
Is this the way to the Padma?
no, the brilliant thing about Indonesia is that all the cars over there, they don't have, like we have, the police on the roads with, looking at what colour your tint is.
Right.
Yeah.
On the windows, right?
Sure.
And some of the tint is just
Darker than legal.
Oh, mate, you can't see through it. It's
Yes.
Michael Jackson mirror.
Yep.
Stuff.
Yep.
So that's what we did. We in both those areas we had these vans, and we just stayed in the vans as much as possible. We had a state of the art sort of miniature drone that we used
Yeah.
with devastating effect, which was incredible.
Yeah.
Because the Chinese tell the local journalists who've given up years ago, but it's very hard to get to too, Nat. It's isolated and remote, but they tell them, we've got all the electric sort of blocking mechanisms and device
okay,
and all.
yes.
Yep.
But it's BS. BS.
Yeah, right.
Total BS. But they put everyone off, and
Yeah.
So, Liam, the gist of the story is what's taking place in Indonesia, and it's affecting Australia and nickel refineries and stuff.
Massive, Sean. Yeah, that's the first step, right? That was where we first started the story,
Right.
Because the Australian industry has been decimated. All the nickel mines around Australia are now what they call care and maintenance,
Yes.
which is basically shut down until one day.
Yeah, waiting for the price to go back up again.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's financially viable.
And the reason the prices in the toilet Nat, is because China, with the help of Indonesia, has flooded the market, flooded the world supply. So so the price drops, but China picks up the market dominance.
Right.
So they've got 70% now of the market, of the whole entire global market. And all the EV makers want the cheap, what they call dirty nickel. And it's dirty nickel because it's just made with no environmental protections, no safeguards, no rules, no regulations, including for the safety of the workers. I mean, the people over there getting killed every week, and that's not being melodramatic.
Yeah,
I mean, they're treated like slave labour. And the local population, it's just, you got to see, on Sunday, when you see the pictures,
So these are...
I have an open mind. Like, I'll let you make your own mind up.
Yes.
But when you see the pictures, it's the scale.
So we're talking facilities that are making the batteries? Is that what we're talking about?
The whole thing is like they plonked the nickel mine next to the smelter, next to the power station. And they've got, at the moment, I think they've got 7 power stations in these things, like coal-fired power stations, pumping out emissions by the millions. We just sit here in Australia going, careful, not allowed to. Oh, watch that exhaust pipe.
Yeah.
And over there,
you can't burn a wood fire. Yeah.
Mate, it's just maxing out. When you see the pictures, you'll see what I mean. The scale, I've never seen anything like it. It's the industrial pollution and the degradation is just next level.
Will you have any? Sorry, Shaun. Would you have any consequences for doing this story if you ever want to go back there?
Well, I won't be going back to Bali for a little while.
Yeah, no Padma.
No.
So you have to sort of reconcile that with yourself.
Thanks, Ross.
Rottnest is your holiday destination for the next foreseeable future.
Yeah, Albany's looking good.
Yeah. Well, it is lovely.
Thanks for pointing that out, Ross. Because if there was a representative from the Indonesian embassy listening, I now have
absolutely gone.
Your flag.
Yeah.
When you guys were getting all the pictures and stuff like that, and you're making all the notes and seeing what was going on, how far out are you staying, and how many days does it take to get?
Or are you sleeping in this van? What are you doing?
You strategically, you have to pick your accommodation. That's a really good point. You have to sort of settle that stuff out. That's a lot of logistics.
Because I can't imagine this is a high tourist area that you're talking about,
and there's
for obvious reasons.
No, and there's no Westerners. That's
right. So you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. There would have been government officials who were like, what are they doing here?
What's the suit guy doing here?
We had a couple of very good fixes, Well, we just wouldn't get out of the car. We wouldn't just walk around down the street, Nat. It's just not like that.
Right.
You just can't do it.
Yeah.
But it is incredible the way, look, at one of these things, because one is on the island of Sulawesi.
Yep.
And the other one is on an island called Halmahera, which is, if you think of the sort of global map, it's closer toward the West Papuan border.
Right.
So,
it's quite remote, really.
Oh, yeah. And to get there, you've got to take, domestic flights on crappy airlines, and then you get out and you get in these vans and you drive, because it's very mountainous.
Yeah.
And the roads are absolute disastrous at the best of times, like potholes and very narrow, and it takes you hours to get just 17-18 k's up the road.
Yeah. And so the promo said this will make you rethink electric vehicles.
Well, I think it will open a lot of people's eyes because all the batteries, the battery's the lifeblood of the electric car. You can't have, and it's got to have nickel.
Yeah.
It's got to have nickel. I mean, there are some cars being made now with their batteries without nickel in a different sort of lithium composition, but 99% of the EVs have got nickel in the battery.
Yeah.
So in a very simplistic form, the better quality nickel, the better the battery.
Yeah.
The higher density the nickel, the battery holds the charge for longer, so you can drive the car further.
Yeah.
But these things are being churned out because they're one of the most expensive components of the car.
Yeah, that's right.
So you get a cheap battery. Guess what?
Yeah.
You got a cheap car.
And the recycling of the batteries is an issue as well.
Yeah.
That's a whole other matter.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And all the major manufacturers that we've tried to get feedback from, the Teslas, the Volkswagens, the Fords, the Hyundais, they say, oh, hang on a minute, we can't afford not to have this dirty nickel in our things, because we need to be price competitive because it's a price point thing.
Yeah.
Yep. So you're saying, well, hang on a minute.
Cost,
well, it amazes me because we've been talking for what now, safely the last sort of 10 years, seriously, about different companies with all sorts of different products. And we say, we're not going to support them because that's not sustainable.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
We do.
Hello, folks, wake up, because there's shiny cars in the showroom, but under the bonnet.
Yeah. And you're right. A lot of people are making the decision to drive an electric vehicle because they're concerned about the environment of gasoline powered.
Yeah.
And then
that's an admirable thing, right?
That's right. That's right. They're trying to do the right thing.
Absolutely.
Because they don't understand what's happening behind the scenes to produce this dirty nickel.
Absolutely.
Oh, you've ruined everything for us.
I want to ask you, I know I've kind of spoke to you off air about this years ago when we were working together at 9, and that was...
those are the days. Have I told you, Ross, about those?
No.
Oh, mate, I write it. I'm saving it for my memoir.
Your memoir will go off, by the way.
It's a huge chapter.
Yeah, we better stay on the right side
I'm
of it.
going to put it in Braille as well. Because no one
should miss out.
No one should miss out.
When some of the stories you've been doing all around the world, right, over your career, but flying in and out of small countries and being in like African countries and getting on planes that look like that.
Or being in Lebanon when there are literal bombs like being fired over the top of you.
But I would rather have been at Optus Stadium playing, for the purple and green.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Yeah. You're doing all right. Don't worry about that.
No, but I was...
No. But look, everyone's got their thing, haven't they? Everyone's got their thing. Yeah. I heard, you and your cousin.
Oh, yeah.
On the radio the other day. We were filming here in Perth for another story, which is great to have a story in WA.
Yeah.
Which you can't talk about.
But I can't talk about it. But I thought, geez, the show's gone all Tasmanian. I mean, there's no... Despite the ratings success, I don't know, maybe that's the reason. But Nat, I mean, look at you. I want to come. I'm desperate to come and see one of your stand-up shows.
Oh, yeah.
Saturday night.
Saturday night.
She's on.
Come
This
tomorrow.
Saturday?
Yeah.
Tomorrow?
And Rove's headlining. So, yeah, that's going to be a cracker.
Whereabouts?
Brisbane Hotel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That'd be
upstairs there.
fantastic.
Oasis Comedy Club. Get on board.
That'd be great.
Nat was saying that...
that takes a lot of guts. That's
I agree.
That's very gutsy. I seriously admire you for doing that.
Thanks, Liam.
I'm really impressed. I'm really
love
impressed.
to see Liam do stand-up.
I reckon you could.
I'd love to have a crack one day.
You could do it.
Oh, you do. And you know
could do
what?
it,
Your
for sure.
impersonations are the best I've heard. They are. Some of your stuff.
Okay, keep it on the down low.
But Liam, get a load of this. Now, I'm telling Nat's story here. I apologise, but she
Which
was
one
telling
is it?
Tell Liam about when you bombed that time. It was only
Okay,
just
had an
recently.
absolute shocker. So it was the final weekend
she's
of
great.
Fringe.
Oh, sorry.
Final weekend of Fringe, and I was on a show down in Fremantle at the Fremantle Comedy Factory, and it was a show where they'd gotten other people who were doing shows for the Fringe, and so then they all did a spot each. And just before I was called on, so it's one of those rooms where you actually the act walks on from the back of the room down an aisle to the front, right?
Oh.
Like you're at a wedding,
Big entrance.
rather than coming from off stage.
Yeah.
And so as the guy is introducing me, a lady in the back row turned around and looked at me, and it was my sister-in-law. And I realised in that moment that my brother and sister-in-law were in the room, which is fine, but it threw me because of the timing, and then I forgot the second part of my first gag, and then from then it just went downhill. Like literally, it was like when you see somebody so when you see people
Like elbow falling off the stage.
in the movies where they're falling off a cliff and they're still grabbing like that. That was me for like, well, it's supposed to be 10 minutes. I reckon it was probably 7.5. It was grim. It was the audience. I went back to that room and did open mic the following Thursday, and it went great. And I was talking to a guy who'd been there, and I said, "Oh God, it was awful." And he went, "No, the crowd was terrible." I went, "No, I was particularly bad." And he said, "That was a really tough room. Even there were some very experienced comedians who were struggling in that room." It's like, well, that's not all my brother's fault.
It is weird though,
They
isn't
can't
it?
all be good, you know.
But you can have that. I think it's worse if you have somebody you know.
Oh yeah. That's right.
It's sort of measurable pressure, isn't it?
Yeah, and there were a couple of stories that did, some stories from my childhood that did involve him, you know, and so I've just got suddenly very self-conscious telling them in front of him.
No, you do.
Had I known in advance, I might have just been able to process it a little bit more, or be prepared, or change some things maybe. But it really threw me. It really threw me, and it surprised me how much it threw me.
Yeah, I'm not.
You never know.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at that. You'd rather do something in front. I mean, you can do something in front of a national audience.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you sort of don't.
Yes.
You're not thinking. You're focused more on what you're doing.
Yes.
But
Had I found out
someone says to
afterwards
you
that he's there as well, I think it would have been okay.
Or if someone says that's really close to you, that you care about, like you care about their opinion,
That's so
and they
funny.
say, "I'll be watching,"
Yeah.
or I'm going to be there, mate. Go, no, don't worry. Yeah, I'm going to come to support. No, don't need that.
No.
You know.
Having said that, you're welcome to come tomorrow night. It's going to be a great gig.
Thanks. Well, that's really good. What about heckling? Because heckling, I love heckling.
Do you?
It's
got some heckles for that?
It's an art. art form, heckling.
Yeah.
I think that, people don't give hecklers the credit they
Well,
deserve.
not all hecklers
Well-
hecklers are created equal,
Well,
for
true,
starters.
true,
Some
true.
are just drunk, obnoxious people.
Well,
There's a bit of that.
But you get, if you start heckling,
But if
you're
you're
going to get
genuinely
pointed out.
funny,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
True.
it's rare that that the heckler wins, given that the person holding the microphone
Has a mic.
has a microphone.
True.
Yeah,
No, that's a good point.
Yeah, but you're welcome to give it a shot.
No, thanks. I'd love to see it though. I just still can't quite. It's still in my head in this morning, seeing Shaun sitting there in a fever scarf.
Green
I don't know
scarf.
why. I don't know.
That's thrown you, has it?
Yeah,
You can't
some
perform.
sort of dysmorphia or something. That I can't quite. Anyway, sorry.
on
You
board
like it?
with
It's not
with
a
the
positive?
fever.
No, I love fever.
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
the fever,
yeah, I
but
know.
it's just you
It's just-
in that. I don't know.
Check out Spotlight on Sunday night,
What do you think
8:40
of my bike pants?
on 7.
Oh, thanks, Nat. Thanks a lot. Hey, it's just after the grand finale of Idol.
Yes.
So it's the last.
the first half of the grand finale, because the second half's on Monday.
Oh, yeah.
Not across your idol stuff.
But we're on board with Gisela because she's a Corpus Christi girl. That's where Shaun went to school. So,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Same
yeah,
school?
yeah.
Never been invited back.
All right.
Draw your own conclusions there, Liam.
Hey,
Liam
guys, thanks
Bartlett,
a lot.
everybody.
Thanks,
Thank
Nat.
you.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Shaun. Thanks, Ross.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
I heard a great story down the dog park the other day. This woman was telling me that her husband had complained when he'd got home, "Oh, I'm starving." And she said, What do you mean you're starving? I packed you a lunch. I made you 3 rounds of cheese and pickle sandwiches.
Cheese and pickle.
What is up with
You
that?
don't need me
He's
to tell you.
pregnant.
He's English. Worse, he's English. 3 rounds of cheese and pickle sandwiches. What's the problem? Anyway, yeah, that is a bit of a problem. So somehow, I think what happened, so they have a business where they have industrial washing machines, and I
Okay.
think he took some washing from home because it was the daughter's bedclothes to there to wash in. So
big one.
you're getting 2 jobs done at once.
It's
basically.
a really good idea.
You're going to work.
By the way, sometimes going to the laundromat when you've got multiple people in
Yes.
your house, you
Yes.
chuck it all in, it's done.
Yeah,
Boom.
yeah. You can do heaps of loads of washing at once. So he took that off and then put the washing on, and then realised he'd washed the daughter's bedclothes with 3 rounds of cheese and pickle sandwiches. And of course, it's a hot wash because it's the cotton sheets and things. And so when you wash cheese and pickle sandwiches on a hot wash, the cheese melts through the bedclothes. I don't know what happens to the pickles. That wasn't mentioned. But also then you're hungry because you've washed your lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
even
it's a
worse
bad
when
day
you're
all
seeing,
round.
when you're seeing it going in the wash because you can't get at it.
Any sheets that smell of pickle as well, that's...
Well, this is the other thing, and apparently the daughter didn't know yet when the wife was telling me this. She was unaware, but he had put them through another 2 times to try and wash the pickle out of the bed sheets because she's a teenage girl who kind of loves the look of her bedroom. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
when
yeah,
you've got
yeah,
the fancy doona cover and the fancy sheets, but that now smell a bit picklish. And melted cheese is a bit hard to get.
And not just 3 rounds.
3
Nat.
rounds of sandwiches, Shaun, not just 1, 3 rounds of sandwiches. Have you ever put anything through the wash that shouldn't have gone through the wash?
We'll
We'll give you some time to think about it.
just thinking, it's just generally paper and tissues and stuff that ruin things for me. I haven't put anything with food in there. I can't remember. I mean, I know my older son's left his driver's license in his pocket a few times when it's gone around, but
that old
that's
chestnut.
normally, and it's just a bit
I know.
stuffed, but it's not completely ruined.
I know a family who their dad to put the passport somewhere safe the day before they were flying out. Put 5 passports in the lower pocket of his cargo pants. And threw them through the wash.
If they're slightly damaged, they're rejected,
And
right?
guess what? Going through the wash more than slightly damages them, Ross.
Oh, no.
But also then they couldn't find them. And they're like, where are they? They were retracing their steps. What have we done with them? And it took ages. And then finally he went, oh, maybe I put them in my pants. And they're like, okay, where are your pants? In the wash.
That's that could be over $1,000 to get new ones. Weeks, months, maybe.
Yes.
Nearly $400 a passport.
Yeah, these were English passports, so I don't know if they're.
Oh, that'd be
more
heaps cheaper.
expensive. Well, ours are the most expensive in the world.
Yeah, I know. I did read that.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
Stitch.
All right, simple question. What went through the wash? Kaylee's in Wanneroo. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Great, Kaylee. What went through the wash?
So my brand new AirPods, after I went for a walk, I put them in my pocket, And surprisingly, this was 2 years ago. They still work to this day.
Hey, Kaylee, I've got the same. So one of mine doesn't work, and I still wear the two of them, but the other one does.
Yeah.
And that's from going through the wash.
A couple of weeks after that, I went for a swim with one in, and it sat at the bottom of the pool for an hour, and it still works after being a wash and at the bottom of the pool.
How durable is AirPods?
That's great.
Well done.
Mate.
You don't even have to put them in a bowl of rice.
Right. How do you put AirPods in a bowl of rice and hope for the best?
I left them on the bench, and I was like, oh, they'll dry, and sure
And
enough,
they
they
did.
were fine.
Oh, that's cool.
What a happy story.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And now they're clean as well. Thanks, Kaylee. Trevor's in Jarrahdale. Morning, Trev.
Yeah, good morning, guys. How you going?
Good, Trev.
Buddy, what went through the wash, Trev?
Oh, back in the day when you used to get paid in cash, I got home from work and just threw the clothes in there, and Mum washed them. And then when she finished the wash, she opened up the lid, and there was all this money floated in there. So it looked like a lottery win. So it was quite good. Then we just stood there for about another 20 minutes ironing the $20 note.
Ironing it.
Oh,
These are the old-fashioned paper ones, I take it, and not the plastic ones.
Yeah, the old-fashioned ones.
Yeah.
oh, they were great.
So
Yeah.
it was
The old
quite good.
crayfish. The original.
Yeah. Just got paid in a bunch of $2
money.
notes.
Yeah, real money. That's it, Trev. $2 notes.
I thought, imagine opening the washing machine, just a whole lot of money floating around in it.
You're like, geez, I need to wash more often.
Yeah, exactly. This is an amazing washing machine. Thanks, Trev. Bianca's in Balga. Morning, B.
Hi, how you going?
Good, babe.
Bianca, what went through the wash?
So my mum has a bit of an obsession with the washing machine, and we call her Simpson is her boyfriend.
Yes.
But she had an old, years ago when we lived with her, she had one that had like a glass top so you could see the top loader like spinning around.
Yes.
Yep.
Anyway, she had a bunch of sheets next to the washer ready to go for after that load, but she would put the sheets in, but she wouldn't let the machine fill the machine. She had to fill the machine with a bucket
Yes.
for some reason. Anyway, so she was filling the machine with the bucket after putting the sheets in, and she could see something moving in the sheets.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God, there's a rat, a mouse, something, there's something in there. Forgetting that we just got a kitten.
Oh.
And the kitten was...
It was about to go through the wash.
He did a bit of a swirl around a few times, but he was fine, and he lived for 13 and a half years. But yeah, he went for a little dip.
Thank God she does the bucket and slowly
Yes.
fills it up. Otherwise, that
I
could
know.
That could have been a
If she
disaster.
didn't, the kitten would have lasted the whole week we had it or something.
Hey, B, let's talk about the bucket. What's the go with the bucket? Doesn't it automatically fill up?
It does. I think she doesn't think it does it quick enough, but I don't think it actually makes it any faster.
So if you fill it up yourself, won't it overfill because the machine will just add its own water, or it's got a sensor or something?
I think it does it on weight. So
Oh, okay.
once it hits the correct weight,
Yep.
it stops. But yeah, I don't understand that anyway. But it saves the cat's life, really.
She's not Fisher or Pikel, Sean. Leave her alone.
getting off topic there.
I thought it was a really interesting
Yeah.
part of the
Bianca, cats for some reason do love to just sit on piles of laundry, though. Have you?
Do they?
Yeah. They love it. Yeah.
And he did that for the rest of his life, even though he risked it at the very beginning. He didn't learn anything.
Didn't learn his lesson.
I'm very glad that cat was all right.
A very big cat. He was like a 7.5 kilo cat, so he wasn't
jeez.
going in the
He's a
washing
big,
machine.
big buffer.
Wow.
Yeah. That was his defence. He went, if I get fat enough, they won't throw me in the washing machine again.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
The whole world's a buzz. Because
Are they?
Is it?
Robert Irwin has done a shoot for Bonds.
Yeah.
Like on the TV, it's saying Robert Irwin bears all. It's like, well, no, he's wearing Bonds undies. That's the point of it.
Sean hasn't seen it. I've got
Sean.
it up on the giant screen here in the studio. I'm just going to scroll down and let's get your reaction and thoughts. Right?
First of all, Pat Rafter was the original Bonds guy.
That's true.
Pat Rafter's a handsome
Bloody love
cat,
Pat
right?
Rafter. Yeah,
All right,
okay.
here we go. First picture.
How do you feel about that, Sean?
Sweet rig.
I know, but it's
I don't
like
know, it
it's
seems a
Robert
bit-
Irwin. Because he was just a little boy in front of the whole country, it feels awkward to me.
Suggestively looking at the camera
Yeah.
and lying on the grass.
He's got it, like, if somebody told you he was part of the Hemsworth family, you would believe them, wouldn't
Wait a
you?
second.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would.
He's got a
got a
spider
Zeno.
on him. He's got a
He
spider.
actually has a spider on him.
A giant spider
Nobody
on
was-
his deltoid.
Nobody looked at that because everyone was looking at his jocks.
All right, next one. This
Which is,
one.
I mean, it's an ad for Bonds. You would want them to.
This one's a bit more aggressive.
Oh, look at that python.
He's got a pipe
And also
around
he's
his
got
neck.
a snake around his neck. Hey!
I know. And who hasn't sat on one of those green plastic chairs that broken 100 times over?
That looks like he's just like lobbed in someone's backyard and he's supposed to be mowing the lawn, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Well, there's a lawnmower
Okay.
in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
Right.
next one. Oh, another snake.
Another snake.
Oh,
How uncomfortable.
Well, I bet he's used to handling reptiles.
I'm
you talking about
also
being in his
just
jocks?
actually modelling seriously. Like if he's sitting there in his jocks and he's got a good rig and all the rest of it, but he's actually putting on the sexy stuff.
Yeah, I know, but like
That's
giving
the
the
off-putting
eyes
part.
to the camera.
Yeah, that's the off-putting part, don't you think?
We'll put these on our socials as well.
Oh, I bet we will.
Well, Ross has already got them on his. So
Digital Sam had suggested it.
No, he was bang up for it.
Yeah, that's
he's
it.
definitely wearing like a box of sort. You know, the modelling boxes.
Yes, like they wear a couple of pairs apparently. That's the
socks
the
on their
secret.
rod.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
pat it out a bit, make it a bit more of like a Ken mound. You know, don't you reckon? Like,
what are
Yeah,
your-
that's definitely a Ken Mound.
What's your
I
feeling?
feel uncomfortable. He's a child. I know he's 21 and an adult and everything. Whatever. If I knew that, if I didn't know it was Robert Irwin, it would be okay. But because it's Robert Irwin, that little tiny boy who's like, on Steve Irwin's hip while he was feeding crocodiles. It's like that. I can't look at.
I did mention
And
it before.
I don't like snakes. So
when Sally grew up on Home and Away, Kate
Yeah,
Ritchie, our
sure.
very own Nova's Kate Ritchie.
Yeah.
That was difficult for a lot of people.
For you?
You're talking.
Nah.
Don't talk. You can't talk about Kate Ritchie's boobs. I know that's what you're alluding
No, it's with
to.
Sally. Everyone was like, whoa,
I mean, it's
she's
tough,
a woman.
especially for girls to go through puberty on TV. It's hard
Exactly.
enough anyway, but on TV, yeah, tough. Whereas, I mean, Robert Irwin really seems to be flourishing.
How much, Ross? How much to do that?
That one?
10, $20?
Well, if I had a rig like that, I'd do it for free.
With the snake around your neck?
Yeah, give me a little bit of money. That would be uncomfortable.
Do you think, does he bring his own snakes to set?
Oh, I reckon he would, wouldn't he? Yeah.
But you'd want like a
And what is he?
fashionable snake, right?
And what does he come with? Has he got like a cricket bag that you've got many bats in, right? Yeah, he's got many.
I don't mean just go and get the diamond python.
That's right.
All right, we'll put those photos up.
They're probably already up. No,
Yeah, just for the sake of, so you know what we're talking about,
Yeah, of
but
course.
also know that our digital content guy, Sam, really poured over them for you. That's just his service to you.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.